We are at the shop right now. We are going to start the disassembly of the engine, draining all the fluids, and I have kind of made up my mind of if I'm going to keep the supercharger or not. I've decided to sell it. Someone gave me a pretty good offer. Someone offered me 2,500 bucks. We're gonna get rid of that right now. All right, so this is all my tools that I'm gonna be having. Nothing too crazy besides the power tools. You don't need these power tools like this one. This is like $1,000 from Snap-on. Harbor Freight sells plenty of good stuff. I even got Milwaukee. I have a whole bunch of mixed stuff. Like I got Snap-on sockets, Harbor Freight socket, even Harbor Freight wrenches and whatnot. So even these I got from Home Depot. So just simple hand tools basically if you are also wanting to take apart the same supercharger, which is the Craftworks C38 C40 supercharger with the upgraded pulley. We're going to be disassembling the entire supercharger. We're going to be as organized as possible. So we're going to wing it and take apart the entire supercharger assembly, and you're going to watch me. Without further ado, let's get started on the disassembly of the supercharger. This headlight's loose, like there's no bolts holding this in besides the one on top here. Alright, that's off. Alright, next up we're going to take off the intercooler, which looks like it's 2 bolts, maybe 4, no, it's way more bolts than that. So this bracket's weird, it's like in the, it's like teeth and it's grabbing into the crash bar. Alright, so the oil cooler assembly is off. Now all that's left to do is to actually get the supercharger off the car itself. I know it's a little hard to see, but this bolt right here and this bolt right here are both H6s. So I'm just gonna be loosening these. Okay, so the one on the left are the longer, so the one on the left is actually the longer M6 bolt, and the one on the right are actually the shorter ones. All right, up next I'm going to be taking off the bracket from the pulley, but before I do that I'm actually going to take off the belt itself. And this bracket right here is held on, I think, by 2 M6s as well. Alright, so the supercharger is completely out of the car. It is ready for the motor to be taken out, which should only take a couple hours. Alright, so game plan, we're going to use the lift because it's way easier to work on a car with the lift, so we're going to do that right now. Alright, so we got the motor cleaned up. Not too bad for having it sit outside for almost a year. The clutch is a little bit rusted, but I'm not too worried about that. If anything, I'll just pull the clutch off of this one and then just swap it onto the new motor. But as far as progression goes on this motor, all the bolts are off. I stuck a pry bar between the steering rack and the bottom of the trans right here and pried it so it would come loose a little bit. So you see the transmission moving, so it's a little bit easier to pull the motor. All right, so everything is disconnected from the car. We got the fuel lines, intake, the entire exhaust is out. Engine mounts are unbolted since we have tension from the engine stand. All that's left to do now is disconnect it from the transmission and it should come out. All right, start raising the motor a little bit. You good? Yep. There. All right, raise it. Alright, so we got the motor out. This is the replacement motor. This came out of a 2016 FRS. This is the blown one. I've been told that this is this car's second motor change. Hopefully this will be the last motor I'll ever see, and while I have this engine out, I'll replace the spark plugs. I'll be replacing the throttle bearing and maybe the clutch fork just while the engine's out. We'll just get it out of the way, make it easy. So we'll probably put in the motor next weekend so I can order the part, and next weekend we'll throw all the new parts on the motor, toss it in the car, drain the gas tank, and it should be ready to go. So this car was on flex fuel. So the owner told me that the tanks have E85 filled with them. From what I know, I don't think there is any drain. I don't want to drop the tank. So maybe I'll just have the pump running, have a bucket at the end, and drain out all the E85. But suspension wise, it's pretty nice. It's even got this Greddy catback, PVM lowers, Greddy KW coilovers. Alright, so that's all the time I have for this video, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Next episode will be probably replacing the clutch fork. I want to replace the throttle bearing and a couple of other small things. And after that, we should be putting in the motor. I did want to get it running this week, but when I had the motor out, I realized maybe I should replace some stuff. Might as well, because the engine's already out and it's going to be a pain to do it again. Especially having the lift. Having the lift helped. I think that'll wrap it up for this one. But nonetheless, thank you guys so much for watching. Next episode, we'll be putting in the motor, and we'll see you in the next one.